Okay, start with some doom and gloom. So in a typical day on Earth, if today was a typical day, we will have lost 300 square miles of rainforest. The human population will have grown 190,000 people, and we will have added 50 million tons of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So the climate has got more extreme, the waters of the earth more acidic, and life has become more vulnerable. And this is not the work of ignorant people. These are well-educated people. But their education has emphasized efficiency over conscience. Their answers are more important than the questions. And people think we have a technological solution for things, but it's not a crisis of technology. It's a crisis within the mindset of those who use the technology. We have this desire to manage the planet. We want total human domination, but we need to actually manage ourselves. We need to reshape our desires to fit a finite planet rather than trying to reshape the planet to fit our infinite wants. And without this kind of perspective, education is creating better vandals of the earth. We don't need to flood their minds with information. Everybody's seen that they have access to as much information as they need at their fingertips. What they need to do is they need to know how to find it, how to understand it, and how to apply it. And there's less people that have first-hand experience of the land. So where are these students learning these skills? The education system has broken the world into pieces, into subjects, and into disciplines. And they finish school with no sense of how things are interrelated. Because if economists knew ecology, our financial system would include the cost of pollution and resource depletion in the price of the products. But we have actually been fooled into thinking we're richer than we are. So we need to bring emotion back into education because it's obvious that personal motives matter and they lead to different uses of information and they lead to different results. We are preparing our future leaders, so they need to understand the implications of the decisions that they will be making. We need to connect them to the natural world and they'll value it more. So it is possible to reshape education without introducing a completely new curriculum. Environmental education reaches all aspects of learning. Students figure out that they're part of the natural world, that they're dependent on it, that they're responsible for it. And we as this generation will fail in our duties to the next generation if they're not prepared to deal with the consequences of what's being left behind. Because with knowledge comes a responsibility that it's used, that it's well used. We can't say we know something until we understand the effects that it has on real people and on communities. We need educators as role models, and we need our institutions to demonstrate the value in their operations. There is a danger of damaging the natural sense of wonder, and I work with kids in all different aspects, and I see that their minds work best when they use them in certain ways. That's why they ask a lot of questions, want to get involved, and want to touch everything. If we reduce it to memorization and we abstract the information from real experiences, we're going to be losing their curious minds. Because we all know that enjoyable experiences are the easiest to remember. And I've seen that learning works best when it's not forced. And so we can't protect what we don't love, and we won't love what we don't understand. So building that connection for the students enables them to make better decisions down the line. And I put a lot of pressure on the schools, so obviously they can't do it alone, they're just part of a larger system. But there's no better institution, better placed to deal with this decline than the ones nurturing our young people. This generation will have to do what we've been unable or unwilling to do. And that relates to economic and social issues as well. They're all related together. So in the 70s, the top skills were to read, write, arithmetic. But now employers are looking for creativity, for teamwork, for interpersonal skills and innovation, for problem solving. So our schools need to develop this. The skills needed to industrialize the earth are not the same ones of those that are needed to heal it. So when information passes from teacher to student, that doesn't necessarily create intelligence. It actually emerges from students' curiosity-fueled exploration. So when I work with students, I give them prompts, and I ask them for information, and I create ways for them to discover things, and then they internalize that learning. We need to break free from the confinements of a classroom and into the real world. What will the children of the future need? They'll need the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence to deal with the challenges that we've created and find the solutions. And how do they get it? They need a practical application of the information. They need critical thinking, and they need problem solving. So these are some of the organizations that align with this type of thinking, and they're popping up all over the world. Environmental field is growing. We know of solar, wind energy. We know sustainable agriculture, green building. It's all building up. Most of the exciting careers that I know of have the environmental in front of them. Design, law, business, they're all related. One of them has come to Bermuda. It's supported by the UN. It's called the Foundation for Environmental Education. It's effectively transforming education in 56 other countries. There are 11 million students participating. And Green Rock has invited them here to work with us and represent Bermuda on this global scale. So we are now on the map. We started with Elliott Primary School. We did a pilot program there. They saw a significant reduction in their energy. They reduced their waste. They had a school produce garden. And the way the Eco Schools model actually works is they say focus on one thing at a time. So take energy and create an eco club, do an audit, create an action plan, and go through the whole process on that one theme so that the students aren't too overwhelmed. Then they have an event where they inform and involve the whole community, they celebrate their success, they share information, and they earn this international accreditation of an eco school. And they fly their green flag proudly to show everyone that they have made this achievement. So we really need to empower our young people to tackle these challenges. The eco school model doesn't take away from any current teaching methods or strategies in the school, it actually just enhances the learning. We need to engage our students in transforming their physical, social, and mental learning environments. This type of model combines learning and action together. It embeds the students in their environment. It makes them responsible for their community. It gives them the tools to actually make it happen. And it involves them in the success. So they are a key part of the success. We talk about leaving a better planet for our kids, but let's think about leaving better kids for our planet.
Thank you, Abbie. Any questions?
So Gordon here has our flag. This will be the flag that gets awarded. We don't have a school that has quite reached that yet, so this is looking for a new home rather than my closet. So that will be flying somewhere soon, hopefully. Thank you. Yes?
How receptive have local schools been to this?
Cool. Well, we kind of we have some relationships with all the schools, 31 schools, both public and private, from preschool to college, and they've been very receptive. They like the idea. I did an assembly presentation at Sands, and Dr. Jackson, the principal, said, well, this is great. I already do this. And he pulled out his whole lunch and showed all where his lunch came from, that it was all local in Tupperware. And so they get the point. They get the idea of it. They want to participate. The only challenge is the time, because they need to follow this whole process. The model says you have to have an eco club, you have to do an audit. So we're just sort of nurturing, and that's what I'm doing to work with them through the model, but they're all very receptive. They get it, they just have to implement it. Any other questions?
No, well, I was just wondering what you do in your own life that models the eco school concept.
Ask my husband, it's pretty annoying sometimes, but we drive an electric bike, we compost, switch off every single light as soon as we're not using it. Just simplicity, I think. You know, nobody's perfect. My clothes are not all organic, but you do what you can, and I think that's the important part that it teaches the students, that there's no way that you can take it all on. So I do a few little things, and I always say when I meet students, my passion is to get them passionate about it. So that's what I do in my own life, is I teach other people about it and try to inspire them to do their thing too.
I have a question. It's just kind of out of curiosity, but like, do you work for the government department or something?
No, I am a volunteer. So Green Rock is a heavily volunteer-based organization. They're looking for funding to support and grow this program. And I have a full-time job working with students in other capacities. Particularly, I do field trips at Dolphin Quest. But yes, Green Rock is looking to expand it. It's an organization heavily on volunteers, and that's what makes us run.
Abbie, I think what you're doing is commendable.
Thank
Are
you.
you aware of the gardening program that Mrs. Ferguson has started at Government House?
Yes,
Because
yeah.
I work with children on a weekly basis. Is there any way that we could sort of meld these two things together? We have 3 primary schools that are very involved there and have their own gardening space at Government House.
Certainly, no, I am aware of it, and we would definitely love to collaborate. Part of what I'm doing is trying to get the word out so that more people know about it, and if you know how to do an energy audit, come and let us know. If you love gardening, come and let us know. So we're looking for partnerships all the time. We did a great presentation and a workshop with Department of Youth and Sport, who have after-school programs. So as I said, the challenge is finding the time to meet. So they have an after-school program. That's a great time to meet. So the question was, would we like to work with you? Yes, we would love to work with you. Just get in touch and we can work along the parameters that you have, but we're always looking for collaboration.
Hi.
Hi.
When was the initiative brought to Bermuda, and how many schools have sort of started the implementation process?
Okay, so I've been actually working on this for about a year because Green Rock found out about this. It's happening, as I said, all over the world, and we put in an application. It was quite extensive of, the background of Green Rock and what we can provide. We got our accreditation in October of last year. And I did an outreach to about maybe 10 of the schools that I knew that I had relationships with. 5 schools have signed up. Summersfield was the first one, and Warwick Academy is actually making progress. But as I said, there's public schools as well. SANS is very keen. It's just a matter of getting the students together. So I'd say about 5 are on board, registered on our website, and I'm actively meeting with their eco clubs. One more.
So are you only focusing on younger kids versus older ones?
No, definitely not. I didn't mention that. Bermuda College has an excellent eco club. Their environmental professor, Amy Harvey, I've known for a while, and so she has been facilitating their efforts, and they don't need me as much, but I teach them the model, and then they follow through. They wanted to take on energy as their first mission, and Aaron, who's also presenting next, I think, from Department of Energy, met with them and told them, okay, this is how we can get through it. And they just had challenges of separating from the hotel, so they had to get over that, so they might do something else. But any age, we can work with community centers as well. Sands Community Center has said they want to come on board, so there's not really that many restrictions. Green Rock is the local organization to do this, so we can sort of nudge the criteria in a certain way to Bermudianize it.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you very
thank
much,
you.
Abbie Caldas. Abbie's husband, Vinny, presented at Sandy's Boat Club last time on tattoo. He's a tattoo artist, and that was really excellent. So